Apple says it gives you freedom. But what if that freedom is an illusion carefully designed to keep you inside a golden cage? From the very beginning, Apple branded itself as the rebel. The famous 1984 commercial promised liberation from conformity. Think Different campaign sold individuality as a product. Every slogan shouted freedom, but every product whispered control. When Apple removed the headphone jack, it claimed it was for progress, but suddenly millions were forced into buying AirPods. Innovation or manipulation? When Apple changed charging cables, it claimed it was for efficiency, but every drawer filled with useless old wires told a different story. Progress was not free. Progress had a price tag. The story of Apple is not about technology. It is about psychology. It is about how a company mastered the art of trapping people by making them believe they are free. Apple's ecosystem feels seamless. Your iPhone talks to your Mac, your AirPods sync instantly, your watch unlocks your laptop. It feels like magic. But try leaving. Suddenly, the magic disappears. Messages turn green, AirDrop vanishes. Your watch becomes a piece of metal without the iPhone. Freedom reveals itself as dependency. Apple does not just sell devices, it sells a lifestyle that works only if you stay inside its walls. Step out and everything you once loved about Apple collapses. That is not freedom, that is a velvet prison. Look at iMessage. In countries like the United States, the green bubble is a social stigma. Teenagers are bullied for not having iPhones. Friendships bend under peer pressure. Apple never needed an ad campaign for iMessage. Society itself became the campaign. Apple's retention rate is over 90%. 90 out of 100 iPhone users buy another iPhone. Is that loyalty, or is it fear of losing convenience, comfort, and status? Apple says it is about design, but design here is not only about how a product looks, it is about how a product controls. The sleek glass, the smooth aluminum, the satisfying click, all engineered to create desire. Apple built objects people treat as symbols of status, not tools. Psychologists call this identity branding. Apple does not sell phones. Apple sells belonging. Holding an iPhone means you are modern. Wearing AirPods means you are successful. Owning a MacBook means you're creative. But behind every symbol is a trap. You must keep buying to keep the identity alive. Apple's true genius was not the iPhone. It was teaching people to tie their self-worth to a logo. That is why, when Apple charges more, people pay without hesitation. The brand is no longer a choice. The brand is a part of them. Now look at the business moves. The App Store takes 30% of every purchase. Developers have no choice but to obey. Apple frames it as quality control, but in reality, it is a toll booth. Every road inside Apple's world has a price. Repairs? Another trap? Apple makes fixing your own phone nearly impossible. Third-party repairs are blocked. Authorized repairs cost a fortune. Right-to-repair laws face Apple's resistance, because if you could fix your device, you would not need to buy another. Even storage is a cage. You run out of iCloud space, and suddenly your photos are held hostage. Upgrade or lose access. The subscription model is not convenient. It is dependency disguised as service. Every chain is polished until it looks invisible. Apple's mastery lies in hiding control under the surface of elegance. You feel powerful when you unlock your phone with a glance. You feel special when your AirPods connect in an instant. But the power belongs to Apple. The control belongs to Apple. Think about the yearly iPhone cycle. Every September, millions line up. They know the phone will look almost identical. They know the upgrades will be minimal, yet they still wait. Why? Because Apple has rewired the reward system of millions of minds. The dopamine hit of owning the latest iPhone is stronger than logic. And what happens if you dare to switch? Years of photos trapped in iCloud. Apps purchased on the App Store vanish. Messages no longer sync. Friends complain about green bubbles. You do not feel free. You feel punished. Apple says it is innovation, but what if the real innovation was not the device in your pocket, but the system that makes leaving feel impossible? Apple sells the dream of simplicity, but simplicity has turned into monopoly. Apple sells the dream of privacy, but privacy comes with a gatekeeper. Apple sells the dream of choice, but every choice leads you back to Apple. The contradiction is clear. Apple calls it freedom, but freedom means options. And when your only option is to stay, that is not freedom. That is control dressed as convenience. And yet, here is the paradox. People love it. People defend Apple as if it were family, because Apple built more than products. It built trust, it built culture, it built identity. The cage is golden, and many do not want to leave. So here is the real question. Is Apple evil for creating this system, or are we guilty for loving the cage too much? Perhaps the answer is both. Apple designed the perfect trap, but it is a trap we walked into willingly. Apple says it gives you freedom, but the truth is unsettling. Apple's greatest product is not the iPhone. It is not the Mac. It is not even the AirPods. Apple's greatest product is you.